can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies. She is blessed and praised.
Hey, Twister Girl, welcome back to Twist and Shout. I am Shar, and today is another episode of Woman to Woman. If you do not know what I'm talking about, it is simply we're going to try to keep an unbiased conversation about different views and opinions and things that affect us as women, whether it's just being a woman in general, becoming a woman, marriage, single, whatever. Just covering everything. And this is our second episode. So if you did not catch our first episode, be sure to go check that out and then come back here. I would say they're in no particular order. We're just random thoughts that I talk about or come to my mind. So thank you for tuning in on today. Today's topic is cheating. So there is a whole wide range of ideas behind cheating, what consists of cheating. Can people who cheat change? Is it in their nature? Can they defeat the odds? Like, there's a lot of conversation around that, right? And I know some people are more sensitive to what's considered cheating versus like the traditional, this is it. So, as you may or may not know, because I am a Christian woman, but I'm not going to make this conversation completely, Christian, because I don't want to offend. And I'm not saying my religion should be offensive. I'm saying that the Bible is clear about those who are strong and those who are weak. And you are not to offend them, and you are not to have anyone feel like they're less than or greater than. So here we are. So from a biblical standpoint, Paul stated that cheating, adultery, is grounds for divorce. And it's only one of the clear, flat out reasons in the Bible for divorce. Otherwise, Paul is very adamant about, if you get married, you need to stay married. But there is a text that was, it raised like a question mark when he said, if you're going to have the mind to be single, be single. And for me, that means that someone is playing. They're not being serious. They're not active in committing. They're doing their own thing. And we live in a world today where we have social media. Lord have mercy. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. We have all these things. And sometimes some of these social media platforms tend to cater to the idea of cheating, like secrecy. Like, you can block who can see what. You can, like, Snapchat deletes comments after 24 hours, delete conversations. Like, it's a lot of sneakiness and a lot of conniving behavior that seems to be encouraged by social media. But my question to you is, what do you consider cheating, and to what extent? Or is it just plain black and white for you? If somebody sleeps with somebody else, that's cheating. What about kissing? What about hugging? What about other acts of intimacy? What about fellatio? What about sending messages, calling, exchanging numbers? Like, what is your grounds for cheating? I would say, me personally, and this is a conversation that flip-flop based on when I was single or chilling than when I was married. Now, my whole attitude was anything goes before you actually said I do. I know that's messed up. But for me, it was like, how can you hold me accountable for something that God does not even honor or acknowledge? So in my mind, it's like dating is not acknowledged in God. That was my opinion. I'm not saying it's written in the Bible, but to me. And for me, it was like God made it clear to talk about marriage and talk about marriage repeatedly. So obviously it is an honor and a privilege to be in marriage. So my mind was, if it's before I say I do, it doesn't matter. But I will tell you that there's no such thing as it doesn't matter before marriage. Whatever your mindset, whatever your behavior, whatever your actions are prior to you saying I do, you can easily drag those habits into your marriage. Very dangerous grounds. This is my opinion. I would like to hear you guys. Now I'm on the fence as far as to what extent. Like, I feel like conversation, you investing in someone emotionally, is cheating, and that does not require physical touching. But again, according to the Bible, it just flat out talk about like the sexual end of it, not the emotional attachment or all these other things and terms that has since been created in our time. So, what is cheating to you? Have you cheated? Did you regret it? Were you in a position where you actually glad you cheated? Like, I want to know you guys' opinions and feedbacks on that conversation. You don't have to talk about it, but if you're open to it, like, you never know what your situation can help someone else. What is the worst cheating scenario you ever been involved in, including yourself, including your other partner? I will share this much. Right before I met Jacob, I was dating a young man who I loved, and he was obsessed with me, which is the reason why when I get to the point, y'all can be like, how? But he was so obsessed with me to the point where he probably felt me rejecting him at some point. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore. And that's kind of how we met too. It was me getting tired of somebody else, and I want to be entertained by somebody new. And that was my mentality. And it's really bad because even it has spilled into a lot of things, and I try to make sure it doesn't affect like me YouTubing, me using products or Bibles or journaling, because when I get something new, it's like, wow. And then slowly it's just like, I don't want it no more. So, and I was doing that with people, and not just any people, like with friendships, with relationships. And I think he kind of sensed that because I kept talking about it, because I'm very verbal. Like, I'm like, look, I don't like you no more. And sometimes it just happens instantly, and sometimes I can feel it coming on. And I kind of approached him that way. He was like, no, we can work it out. We can fight it. He was trying not to leave. But when I officially say, you know what, I need to break free from this, like, it was just something in me that's saying, look, get away. This man had me, because he was living with an aunt. And I was working in the area where he lived. So that's how we met. That's how we was kicking it. And I used to go see him every morning before work. And he was with his aunt, and then at one point he just started saying, well, I want you to actually drop me over in the projects to my god sister's house, supposedly. And I don't know, like I said, for me, it was like I was done with him anyway, so I wasn't really thinking, like, because if I was in love with him like I supposed to be, I was like, what god sister? I haven't met a god sister, and I haven't met her. And I was dropping him off, and I did so enough where it's like, oh, I know where you're going this morning. And this the crazy part. He actually would have me drop him off in a different location than the actual apartment door and number. I did see that much. But again, I'm thinking he ain't supposed to be out. He's hiding. He always had this thing where he was like, he ain't trying to talk to his dad. He ain't trying to talk to his sisters. Whatever. I fell for it. I ain't gonna sit there and lie to you. I was dumb in this situation. But one day, I picked him up from the aunt house, and I'm like, this is strange. Like, you already here, you done made amends with your aunt. Why are you going here? And I remember, for whatever reason, I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. And I was like, I'm done. And he made his business try to hurt me. He was like, I don't want you. I done moved on. You every morning you drop me off at old girl house. I was like, say that again? And sure enough, every morning I was dropping him off at the young lady's house that he actually got pregnant. And he actually had a baby by. Like, later on, of course. But I remember that pain and that like, even though I had already made up my mind that, like, I was done with him, it still hurt. Like, it hurt really bad. To the point where I said, I'm done. Like, God, don't you send me nobody else. Don't give me nobody else. I don't want nobody else. I'm done. I've had enough. Like, literally, this man is looking at me crying like he's so in love with me, but telling me at the same time that he's been sleeping with someone else, and I was the fool enough to drop him off to the place where she was. Matter of fact, the conversation came up because he said, I got something to tell you. Someone might be pregnant. And I'm just like, well, it's not me, because that's one thing about me. I was kind of leading him on with I will have your baby, but I was taking my birth control. And this is why when I see those statuses and those comments about women doing this and other women quick to come to their offense, I'm like, look, women can be just as ruthless as men. Don't get it twisted, because it's clear that we care more about the small details, and they kind of just brush it over, which makes us naturally better cheaters. We can cheat. We can cheat. But men just has that they have the reputation to be more dogly about it. Like, just flat out, I'm just going to put my private in anybody. But women are selective, and they're manipulative, and they're more sneaky and cunning. Like, hence, hello, Adam and Eve, serpent, that story. But yeah, so he told me somebody might be pregnant. And I remember fussing, and he dropped me off. He said, "That's why you dropped me off here." And I'm just like, what? And the crazy part is, I wasn't even so upset about the child part. I was like, you know what? This, in my mind, like, even though I'm saying, pretending like, oh, okay, da 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 da. But in my mind, I'm like, this is my ticket out. Like, I was thinking that, like, when I drop him off, that's it. But then when I drop him off and he's just dumped everything else on me, like, you've been dropping me off here, I've been this and this and this. I'm just like, what? Whatever. But anyway, that's my little backstory. And like I said, shortly after that, I got in my little spiel. I said, look, God, I don't want nothing to do with no man. I'm going to church. I'm reading my Bible. I'm working on me. But then here comes Jacob. And I rejected him because it was like, I just told God I don't want to talk to nobody. And here this man coming trying to talk to me. But this is how I know God is behind it, because God put him in front of me. I didn't go chase him. I didn't go looking for him. God literally brought him to me. But anywho, what is your cheating story? How bad were you cheated on? Like, have you lost trust? Are you hurt by it? Like, talk to me. I just told you my little dirt, my little tea about me, and that was embarrassing. Like, can you imagine finding out that you was helping somebody cheat on you? That's crazy. But one thing I can tell you, I wasn't fool enough to let him borrow my car while I was at work. I knew that much, but he found a way, and the way was still through me, sadly. But y'all pray for me here. I'm just an open book. I love you guys. Please, please, I would say this. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this religious, but I would say that for any hurt, any pain, whether it be through cheating or being dealt with incorrectly, being mistreated, whether it be verbal or physical abuse, there is a God who sits high and looks low, and he loves you enough to take away all that, but you have to give it to him. I had to give it to him. I was talking to Jacob while I was still holding on to that, and I said, God, I don't want to be that messy person. Take away this luggage. Take away this package. I want to start anew. Create in me a new heart and renew my spirit, oh Lord. Drop your 2 cents. I love you guys. God bless. Take care.